Program for you at willowequine.com.
Order up. The Serve Pickleball Plus Kitchen in Cornelius is where sport and food are paired perfectly with philanthropy. Come play, dine, celebrate, and connect. No membership required. All ages welcome. Eat, play, serve it forward. Visit theservepickleball.com.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
Hope is rising, healings in the air, real stories, real strength, love everywhere. It's your time, your space, your next best day. Welcome to the Healed Exchange.
Welcome to the Healed Exchange with Coach C. I am your girl, Charlisa Herriott, affectionately known as Coach C, and the Crushing Chemo Chic. And we are here to have another episode, and this is going to be a very, very, very good one. So tune up and listen in. As always, it's my prayer that the words that are spoken here today will not cause harm, but touch somebody's life. So today's episode is deeply personal and powerful for me. We are talking about what happens when roles reverse, when the caregiver becomes the one in need of care, and when love steps in to cover the journey. Joining me today is Gloria Robinson. And today, oh my goodness, I'm super excited to introduce her. She has worked as a social worker, an administrator, and trainer and consultant for more than 25 years. She holds a Master of Social Work degree with a concentration in administration from the University of Connecticut. Additionally, she earned an advanced training certificate in cultural competency and human services from the Multicultural Training and Research Institute at Temple University. Gloria has specialized in program development, implementation, management, and evaluation. She has forged strategic relationships with community organizations and government entities, along with faith-based communities. She is currently semi-retired and works as a nonprofit consultant. Gloria's passion is sustained by evidence of individuals' growth and organizational development. She is the mother of 2 sons and enjoys reading, traveling, coordinating fun activities for family members and friends. Gloria, welcome to the Healed Exchange.
Well, thank you, Charlisa. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yes, I'm super excited to have you here as our guest on today to share your story and when life takes an unexpected turn. Let's see, Gloria, let's go back and look at when life really takes an unexpected turn. A lot of times we can just find ourselves, just sailing through life. It's almost like that eagle that flies in the air and just flies just smoothly, like it doesn't have any worries in the world. Things are going fine. It's just, it almost makes you feel as if you're up in the air with it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So then suddenly something happens, something changes, something shifts. And at this point, things were going pretty good for you in your career. You were going for I think you were just relocated, right? At the time of the diagnosis, or?
Well, I had returned to Charlotte.
Okay.
I had gone back to Connecticut, take care of my dad, and then I came back to Charlotte.
Okay. All right. And so when you returned back to Charlotte thinking that this is going to be, a new beginning here in Charlotte, starting out whatever, going forward, whatever the goals that you have set career-wise, and then suddenly you receive the
Suddenly.
diagnosis. So share with us. Take us back to
Yes.
that time period.
Well, okay, that was in March of 2016. That was 10 years ago.
Wow.
Wow, 10 years ago.
Okay.
And, working, doing life, as they say, lifing.
Yes.
And went to have my annual mammogram. I preached that to everyone. Please make sure you have your annual mammogram.
Absolutely.
And so I did. And, we found that there was something. I had to go back for a more intense mammogram. And that day, when I went for the second mammogram, the look on the faces and the words that they use made me understand that, oh, yeah, this is serious. And then they scheduled for a biopsy. So I remember that day very well. I walked back to my car and I sat down and just sat there, just like, wow. And I started talking to God. And then I called the one person that I knew could understand because she had also went through it. She had breast cancer once and then she had breast cancer twice. And she was a very dear friend of mine, college buddy. And I called her and just shared with her and cried, because it was pretty clear what was going on. So then it went to a diagnosis after the biopsy and getting the phone call. And you get a phone call like that telling you that you have cancer. On the phone, I was at work. I was then the executive director for a assistant living program. And as you can imagine, I lost it at that moment.
Wow.
I started crying, probably out loud.
Yes.
And my administrative assistant came to the door and she said, "What's wrong?" And I shared with her. She called another colleague who was one of my directors, and they came in and we had a serious prayer. They prayed and prayed, and I felt all of it. And after that moment, of course, I went home to be with myself.
Yes.
And just be with myself. The next call was to my son. My son is a physician, and so I called him, my youngest son, Dr. Sean Johnson, and he obviously consoled me, but I spent the rest of the afternoon with myself, just dealing with it, asking God, actually, why?
Right.
Why me?
Right.
And then the answer was, well, why not you?
Absolutely.
1 minute. So I was just in disbelief and shock.
Mm. Mm. Or something like that to suddenly happened, and it was so powerful to know that when you received the news that it was at your employment,
Yes.
your place of employment, and when you entrusted the ones who were there to talk with you, and then they surrounded you with love and strength and gave you the power to let you know you're not alone.
Nothing but love.
Nothing but love. Awesome. We will be right back right after this moment, and you're listening to The Healed Exchange with Coach C.
We'll be right back with more encouragement and inspiration from Coach C on The Healed Exchange, only on WSIC. Local starts here.
Well, that quick cool down is not lasting very long, although the pollen is going to be around for a while, so good luck with that. Dry weather hanging around for most of the work week as we continue throughout. Upper 60s for our afternoon. Drop back to around 50 overnight, and then we're headed toward 80 Thursday, maybe even mid and upper 80s by Friday. That's your forecast from the Serve Pickleball and Kitchen. I'm WSIC meteorologist Chase Myers.
Hi, this is Bob McIntosh with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Since 1997, we have been committed to providing our clients with competent, caring, and experienced legal services. Learn more at McIntoshLawFirm.com.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Let's start in Huntersville, where families are invited to celebrate the season at Lake Forest Church's Hop This Way Easter Egg Hunt. It all happens March 28th from 3:30 to 5 p.m. at Lake Forest Church in Huntersville. Kids can take part in a large Easter egg hunt, meet the Easter Bunny, and enjoy games and family-friendly activities in a festive, welcoming environment. It's a great way to kick off the spring season with the whole family. Then, looking ahead to April, come hungry because one of Mooresville's most popular events is back. The Downtown Mooresville Festival of Food Trucks kicks off its 2026 season on Saturday, April 4th from 5 to 8:30 p.m. along Broad and Main Streets. With more than 15 food trucks, live music from Untethered Soul, and a lively social district atmosphere, it's the perfect excuse to grab a chair, bring some friends, and enjoy incredible food from across the Charlotte and Lake Norman region. This fan-favorite event runs the first Saturday of each month, April through October, and opening night is always one you don't want to miss. And finally, a chance to enjoy a great meal while supporting a great cause. The Stony Point Volunteer Fire Department is hosting a drive-thru barbecue chicken fundraiser on April 11th, starting at 11 a.m. until sold out at Station 1. For just $10, you'll get a plate with barbecue chicken, baked beans, slaw, a roll, and dessert, all while supporting local firefighters and community safety initiatives. It's a simple way to give back and enjoy a classic meal.
MerleFest 2026, presented by Window World, returns April 23rd through 26th to Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Hear Allison Krause in Union Station, featuring Jerry Douglas, Old Crow Medicine Show, Charles Wesley Godwin, Blackberry Smoke, and more. For tickets, visit merlefest.org.
For more local events, seasonal happenings, and everything going on around Lake Norman, visit liveworkplaylkn.com. That's liveworkplaylkn.com.
We're back with the Healed Exchange, your midweek boost of hope, encouragement, and empowerment. WSIC Local starts here.
Hope is rising, healings in the air, real stories, real strength, love everywhere. It's your time, your space, your next best day. Welcome to the Healed Exchange.
Welcome back to the Healed Exchange with Coach C. Yes, we are super excited. We have as our special guest here, Gloria Robinson, and she is a nonprofit consultant, a former social worker by profession for over 25 years and in various capacities. And she is sharing with us her journey of being an overcomer of breast cancer. And actually stated before the break that it's been March 10 years ago since the initial diagnosis. Wow.
Yes.
10 years later, never would have thought that you would have journeyed through that.
Absolutely. That journey, when you hear those words, it just knocks you off your feet for a moment. At least for me, it was for a moment.
Yes.
After receiving that diagnosis, just starting to think about what if, what if. And then through many emotional times, came to a point of understanding that what if? I've lived, I've enjoyed, and if this is God's will, so be it. But after going through all of those emotions, coming out with, this is going to be the biggest fight of my life thus far.
Right.
And my life is worth fighting for. So I'm going to give it all that I have. Like I told you, I had moved back to Charlotte after staying in Connecticut for a while, taking care of my dad. And so the ironic part of it was I was renting at the time, and my lease was up like a month later.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God, what do I do? I'm going to be, I don't know, maybe for the next 3 months, I'm going to be going through health issues, concerns, and treatment. What should I do? And my sons were living together. My son was finishing up his third year of residency and their lease was ending as well. And they said, "You should come stay with us." I'm your mother. I don't want to come stay with you. That was my,
Yes.
listen, I'm the one who takes care of everybody else,
Mhm.
not just my children, or should say my adult children, or, but family.
Right.
My role is to be the one,
Yes.
I'm that person. I've been identified as that, not self-identified, but identified
By them.
by them. And so I felt like I don't want to live with my sons. I don't want to do that. But after sharing and talking with some of my friends, I was like, no, that's what you need to do. So we began this journey, and I'm happy to say that as I began this journey, I had friends and family that were so supportive. It's just amazing for me. That experience was so amazing with how people just came forward and just did everything they could do. My son was, I said, in his last year of residency, he was working with a doctor that he adored and very much looked up to, and went to him to ask him, "Listen, my mom has breast cancer. I need a recommendation. Who would you recommend?" And he shared, "This is who I would recommend for my mother." And so, and then learning who this doctor was, this surgeon was, she was just amazing, and had trained under one of the best in Charleston for this new procedure they had with reconstructive surgery. So
Okay.
I was just really happy and blessed. I was so blessed at that time to have all these people all around. And then, of course, going through and diagnosing and what stage and this and that, I was very fortunate that it was an early stage. So it was early detection.
Oh, good.
And that made a world of difference.
Right.
When I went to my first visit with the surgeon, the oncologist, and she said, I walked in with my little pad and my little pen,
Yes.
and my son was with me, my youngest son, Sean, and she said to me, "Put away your notes, put away your notebook, put away your pen. I need you to really listen." And without taking notes, you're going to only hear half of what I have to say.
Mm.
And with taking notes, you'll hear a lot less. So I need you to put your notebook down and your pen, and let your son take notes.
Yes. Yes. Good strategy.
It was a very good
Right.
strategy because, as you can imagine, I was very, very nervous
Right.
about what was to come. What she's now going to tell me what we're really facing and what
Right.
has to happen. So that was a great time in terms of her being so sympathetic, empathetic, and also just such a caring doctor.
Yes.
She made me feel really very comfortable. And having my son there, of course, as a physician, I felt even more comfortable.
Yes. Yes. And that was the advantage that you had at that time, because not many people can say that part of their team, very close knit part of their team, that they have a physician who can help you kind of navigate some of those symptoms, some of the side effects, and even, that can give, some recommendations of what they think that you should, how to take care of you, even, through the process. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I was truly blessed with that. And one of the things that really stood out, speaking about that particular visit, what the doctor said to me, she said, "This is your time to make this decision. You make a decision about what you want. How do you want to treat this? There are a few options, and these are the options. And so you get to make the decision, because this is a decision you have to live with. This is your body. You have to look at it every day, and you have to take care of it. So these are the options, and you think about it, whether you choose to have a lumpectomy, whether you choose to have a mastectomy, whether you choose to have a double mastectomy. These are your choices. And this is probably one of the few times in your medical history, that you can actually decide where you're going. The insurance company doesn't get to choose and tell
Right.
you can't do this or you can't do that. This is all about you making that choice.
Sense
And
of empowerment.
sense of empowerment
Right.
that you can make these decisions about
Absolutely.
how you're going to handle this.
Yeah, I think that is so important because a lot of times people may feel that if the medical team is, directing the traffic here and the flow of the traffic, then you just kind of go with the flow and you don't feel like that your voice is heard. You don't feel like you're part of the team in making decisions. It's like you lose your self empowerment. And so when you have a physician that says no, it's a decision. The options are yours. Let me give you the options. That's their role. And then your role is to, do your due diligence, research, and then pray over it for those of us who have that prayer life, and then allow the Holy Spirit to lead you to what you feel at that point of time to be best.
Absolutely.
Mm.
And I'm not that patient that just takes what you say to
Yes.
me. I want to know more. I want to know if there are options and all of that. So just to have a doctor who is so open with that, and
Yeah.
having Sean support me in that way as well. And he said, "Mom, this is all your choice. This is all what you feel and what
Right.
you think you want to do."
Right. That's good. That's really good. Now, when you look at that he was part of the team too, his decisions and, or his opinions did matter,
Absolutely.
and you trusted that
I,
because that was your seed.
I trusted him more than I trust anybody else.
Right.
For sure.
Absolutely. And then for him to even say, okay, Mom, this is your decision. It's like he
Mhm.
put the position or the, back into, or the power have given it back to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he wants you to feel empowered by it. He doesn't want to say, because of my position,
Mm-hmm.
that if I persuade, you in a certain,
Mm-hmm.
area, then I feel as if however things go or whatever may happen, then I've taken something from you. And that
Yeah.
wasn't his intent.
Not at all. He
Right.
was very, very supportive. And of course, at the same time, he's having emotional feelings as well because
Right.
it is his mom,
Yes.
and we are talking cancer.
Yes.
And so, but he went through it with me, and I have to say, both my sons went through it with me, and they took care of me.
Yes.
And
Taking
so,
care with the
yeah,
role reversed,
where the world reversed,
Yeah.
that they're going to be taking care of me.
Right.
And so it was amazing to see how many people stepped forward and
Been supportive for you in
have
that
been
sense.
so very supportive. I
Yeah.
can't believe how supportive some people that I don't even know.
How they were. Well, I'm telling you, we're going to delve a little bit more deeper into that role reversal for you right after the break here. You're listening to the Heal Exchange with Coach C on WSIC News Radio.
We'll be right back with more encouragement and inspiration from Coach C on the Healed Exchange, only on WSIC. Local starts here.
Well, that quick cool down is not lasting very long, although the pollen is going to be around for a while, so good luck with that. Dry weather hanging around for most of the work week as we continue throughout. Upper 60s for our afternoon. Drop back to around 50 overnight, and then we're headed toward 80 Thursday, maybe even mid and upper 80s by Friday. That's your forecast from the Serve Pickleball and Kitchen. I'm WSIC meteorologist Chase Myers.
Spotless cleaning. How can we make your day spotless? Yes, We make not just toilets spotless, but also counters, cabinets, and kitchens. We make your whole house, your whole day spotless. My grandparents taught me the details, not the things, make your home and your life luxurious. Yes, they raised me in Brazil. And that's why we will never charge you extra for base sports. Let me help you be a diva a few hours a week. Spotless Cleaning and C.com.
Jay White here from Centralina Realty. At Centralina Realty, we believe it's all about you. If it's time to sell your home, don't go it alone. Put the team here at Centralina Realty to work for you. Go to CentralinaRealty.com and let's get started.
Celebrating a life beautifully remembered. Bennett Funeral Service gently guides families through honoring a loved one's life. Family owned and local, we offer personalized funeral and cremation services, along with veteran honors and compassionate aftercare and grief support. Call 828-465-2111 or visit BennettFuneralService.com. Because there is a difference.
The change of seasons is tough on your system. Dust, wear, and cold snaps test its strength. Let Horn Heating and Air Conditioning prep your home before the holidays, so your heat will be ready when you need it most. Fall into the season of ah. Visit HornHVAC.com, where your comfort is our business. The crowning achievement in clean. Smarter waste solutions start with Crown Waste and Recycling, serving homes and businesses across the Lake Norman area. From compactors and roll-offs to full recycling services. Affordable, environmentally conscious, and woman-owned. We're Clean Rain Supreme. Call 704-2222-639 today.
If you're a builder and you haven't went to Little Shaver's Wood Shop, you're missing all types of lumber products, hard to find woods and paneling materials that are in stock and ready to help you conquer anything the job throws your way. Locally owned, Little Shaver's Wood Shop has a friendly, knowledgeable staff to get you in, out, and on with your day. Little Shaver's Wood Shop, 3301 Salisbury Highway in Statesville. Little Shaver's Wood Shop, LILshavers.com.
Dreaming of a new home or a better rate? At O'Brien Home Loans, our team of independent brokers find tailored solutions that truly fit your life. Proudly serving North Carolina with honest advice and local heart. Visit O'BrienHomeLoans.com today for a free quote.
Friendly reminder, don't brake when you see the lake.
WSIC, local starts here.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Some positivity on Wall Street as investors watch the rhetoric between U.S. and Iran and hope it signals the start of actual negotiations. Meantime, bullish comments from well-known Wall Street strategist Mike Wilson. The CIO and chief investment strategist at Morgan Stanley says he doesn't think the recent spike in oil prices will hurt the business cycle. He thinks earnings of companies on the S&P 500 will rise in the next 12 months. A warning from United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby says ticket prices may have to go up by 20% if jet fuel prices remain elevated for longer. Meta cutting several hundred jobs amid record AI spending, part of a restructuring effort impacting teams including sales, recruiting, and reality labs. And here's something if you have a serious sweet tooth. 7-Eleven's new dessert sandwich, chocolate sprinkles whipped cream sandwich on cherry blossom pink bread. Part of the new greedy sandwich line, according to Sora News 24. For now, you have to travel to Japan to get this one. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
The button pushing stops here.
WSIC. Local starts here.
We're back with the Healed Exchange, your midweek boost of hope, encouragement, and empowerment. WSIC Local starts here.
Hope is rising, healings in the air, real stories, real strength, love everywhere. It's your time, your space, your next best day. Welcome to the Healed Exchange.
Welcome back to the Healed Exchange with Coach C. And we are talking about a great conversation here with our guest, and her name is Gloria Robinson, and she is a nonprofit consultant. She's also former social worker for over 25 plus years in various capacities, and she is a thriver, a thriver of breast cancer. And so she's been talking with us, and she shares with us just have a little uniqueness in her story as when she was diagnosed, she has a son who's a medical physician. And so that was a plus for her to have him with that medical knowledge and being a part of her team and guiding her through the journey to healing or towards healing. So, Gloria, right before the break, you shared with us that your son, Sean, and he's the baby son, that's the medical doctor, that has been there with you through this process. And just kind of tell me, how was it really? What was that experience like for you as a mother to actually have that reversal in roles? Because you were the caregiver, the caretaker, the one who raised him, okay? Took care of his needs. And now that he's an adult, here it is an opportunity for him to extend that same love, that same grace towards you.
Well, Coach C, as I said earlier, when you first started talking about, well, you could live with us. And I'm like, I don't want to live with my sons. I raised you. You don't take care of me.
Right.
Was my thought, because as I said, I'm the caretaker of everybody. And to have a need now for someone to take care of me, it was very emotional because, now I have to rely on my sons to take care of me. And so after, my whole thought was, this is going to be 3 months. I can do this for 3 months. I'll live with them for 3 months. And then, I'm out and about and looking for my own place and space. And but
at least that was your agenda, right?
that was my agenda, but it wasn't God's agenda.
Right.
Well, I don't know. Some people might have taken, control of some of my agenda too. And meaning that, well, first I want to just talk about going through surgery, making that decision. And with Sean, one of the things about me as a mom, my sons would tell you this, and most of my friends who know me, and people who know me know, I raised my kids to have a very close relationship. I always wanted them to believe you could come to me and talk to me about anything. Now I'm on the other side of that. And I thank God for that kind of relationship because I can talk to my kids. I can talk about some of my feelings and share with them how I feel. And so Sean and Devon, my oldest son, my oldest son has special needs, as you know. And so, but the two of them together taking care of me and how that felt was just amazing. Having Sean to, address a lot of the medical needs. I felt safe being with them after surgery because he was a physician. Right. And my other son, Devon, who was so caring and every minute, Mom, you need this, Mom, you need that, and just bringing me everything. And
like your own personal nurse, right?
My own personal nurse. So it was a flip of the script.
Right.
But very nice. And I learned some lessons from that. I learned to allow other people to take care of me. I've always struggled with that. I can take care of other people, but I always felt like I'm taking too much when other people have to take care of me.
So then you were willing to surrender control then?
Yes,
that's and receive the care.
And receive the care.
Yes.
And my kids were wonderful. I have to say that I also had part of my team was my niece, who is a nurse. Tuesday, she came and did the first week shift. So I had a nurse and a doctor, and I was like, I felt in good hands. I woke them up one morning at 2:00 because I was freaking out about something, and which was really nothing.
Yeah.
So I had my nurse niece there who, could do the hands-on kind of care with my body. And that was really good because that was a little relief. I don't necessarily want my son doing that part of it, but I would have had I had to.
Yes.
And then she did the first week. The second week, a good friend of mine who, college friend, who had gone through breast cancer, like I said, twice. She did the second week, and the third week was my cousin, Eloise. That was Deborah, my college friend, and then my cousin Eloise came and did the third week. So I had doctor and I had these helpers.
Right.
And it was just wonderful. It's just amazing how people were just so incredibly loving. My daughter-in-law's boss, she wasn't my daughter-in-law at the time, but she's my daughter-in-law today.
Yes.
And her boss, Ashley's boss, had gone through breast cancer. And Ashley had shared with her what I was going through. A stranger to me. I've never met this woman in my life. I
Right.
still haven't to this day. She sent a package to me that was incredible. I will say that. She
Wow.
knew what I needed.
Right.
And she sent it. I can't tell you how many people sent cards and gifts and books. They know I love to read stuff to keep me busy while I could not do anything.
Right.
While I was being cared for. So
Right.
cared for in so many different ways. I have to also mention the staff at the hospital. They were amazing. Amazing. I chose to first have a lumpectomy, and after that, found that it wasn't all gone, that there was still cancer, and they said they could do another lumpectomy to try and get it, and I said, no, we're doing a mastectomy, and that was my choice, and
Okay.
reconstruction surgery at the same time.
Yes. Wow.
So
Wow.
we're talking, I think
That's
it was
tough.
an 8-hour surgery.
Right.
But when I opened my
Bravery.
eyes after surgery, my oldest brother, Tony, and Estelle, my sister-in-law, were there. So they're the first people. And my good old buddy, my friend Deborah, who's no longer with us, those were the first people who I opened my eyes. That's who I saw. So the love and care was always there.
You know, it's amazing when we actually, walk this journey and not necessarily knowing what's ahead, but we place our trust in the Lord, that He will lead us and guide us, to that victorious place of healing. And as we journey through, sometimes the road may be rough and rugged.
Absolutely.
The terrain may be, not pleasing. As you walk it out or walk through it. But the assurance is knowing that you're not walking alone. You're not going through the journey alone. And to
Absolutely.
have family and friends and even those who are extended ones that have been showing love and kindness and affection and support towards you. And that helps to fuel you emotionally and mentally, that it also plays a significant role in your healing physically.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Coach C. I mean, I know that it contributed because of that love, because of that showing of feelings and concern and care. One of my friends started, she took it upon herself to set up call all my other friends and set up a schedule where they would deliver food, every day. And I loved it. I ate. I was enjoying that part.
So you ate well, didn't have to worry about
I
it.
ate very well.
Yes,
But
yes.
just having people, all the people, and I can't name everybody who really just help, but all my friends, you know who you are, and family,
That's
my
good.
aunts, my aunts from South Carolina, my mother's family, they came up, they visited.
That's
my aunts in Connecticut, they were there, they wanted me
family
to come back.
all over.
Family all over.
Nothing like it, right?
Right.
Just
And I
that
know,
support.
and
Just
I
that
know I'm
support.
blessed.
Yes.
That was a blessing.
That's a
A
blessing.
big blessing, because I know
Yes.
not everyone has that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, guys, you're listening to the Healed Exchange with Coach C, and we will be right back after this break.
Local starts here.
Well, that quick cool down is not lasting very long, although the pollen is going to be around for a while, so good luck with that. Dry weather hanging around for most of the work week as we continue throughout. Upper 60s for our afternoon. Drop back to around 50 overnight, and then we're headed toward 80 Thursday, maybe even mid and upper 80s by Friday. That's your forecast from the Serve Pickleball and Kitchen. I'm WSIC meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Let's start in Huntersville, where families are invited to celebrate the season at Lake Forest Church's Hop This Way Easter egg hunt. It all happens March 28th from 3:30 to 5 p.m. at Lake Forest Church in Huntersville. Kids can take part in a large Easter egg hunt, meet the Easter Bunny, and enjoy games and family-friendly activities in a festive, welcoming environment. It's a great way to kick off the spring season with the whole family. Then, looking ahead to April, come hungry because one of Mooresville's most popular events is back. The Downtown Mooresville Festival of Food Trucks kicks off its 2026 season on Saturday, April 4th from 5 to 8:30 p.m. along Broad and Main Streets. With more than 15 food trucks, live music from Untethered Soul, and a lively social district atmosphere, it's the perfect excuse to grab a chair, bring some friends, and enjoy incredible food from across the Charlotte and Lake Norman region. This fan-favorite event runs the first Saturday of each month, April through October, and opening night is always one you don't want to miss. And finally, a chance to enjoy a great meal while supporting a great cause. The Stony Point Volunteer Fire Department is hosting a drive-thru barbecue chicken fundraiser on April 11th, starting at 11 a.m. until sold out at Station 1. For just $10, you'll get a plate with barbecue chicken, baked beans, slaw, a roll, and dessert, all while supporting local firefighters and community safety initiatives. It's a simple way to give back and enjoy a classic meal.
MuralFest 2026, presented by Window World, returns April 23rd through 26th to Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Hear Allison Krause in Union Station, featuring Jerry Douglas, Old Crow Medicine Show, Charles Wesley Godwin, Blackberry Smoke, and more. For tickets, visit muralfest.org.
For more local events, seasonal happenings, and everything going on around Lake Norman, visit liveworkplaylkn.com. That's liveworkplaylkn.com.
Shake things up, Lake Norman. Great design for you is here. We bring luxury interior design to life, specializing in stunning kitchen and bath renovations. From conception to completion, we handle every detail. Every project is unique. Our expertise makes the difference. Visit our downtown Mooresville studio by booking your 100% risk-free appointment today at greatdesignforyou.com. Design beyond your dreams.
We're back with the Healed Exchange, your midweek boost of hope, encouragement, and empowerment. WSIC Local starts here.
Hope is rising, healings in the air, real stories, real strength, love everywhere. It's your time, your space, your next best day. Welcome to the Healed Exchange.
Welcome back to the Healed Exchange with Coach C. And you guys, we are listening with our special guest here in the studio, and her name is Gloria Robinson, and she's a nonprofit consultant. She's a former social worker who has advocated for many individuals in different situations and scenarios throughout her career over 25 plus years. And Gloria, just by knowing that your role as a social worker, you're out there advocating for other people, finding out what their needs are. Sometimes their voices were not heard and they needed assistance in amplifying their voice. And there you were to help them to navigate through some, challenging moments in their lives to where they can feel that sense of empowerment. The same skills that you have used to help others, you had to do, and it was reversed for where you had to utilize those skills for yourself and advocate for you. Could you briefly share with us the time during this cancer journey that you treaded where you had to advocate for yourself when it came to your employment?
Oh, absolutely. It is amazing. As you said, I'm a social worker, trained social worker, and I always say it's not just a job or occupation or my career. I believe it's my calling. I think that is my calling to help others and to serve others. And so having to advocate for myself, which, it's easy advocating for others. I mean, for me, it's not as difficult as for some, but advocating for yourself is a big to do. You have to. I am now the one with cancer. I'm the one who needs someone to advocate. And I think I am my biggest advocator. So I took that role on. And one of the situations that I found myself in, as I was ready to go back to work after the first 3 months, having had a mastectomy, but knowing that I needed to have another surgery. I had the lumpectomy and then had to have mastectomy in 3 months. My job decided that they would let me go. My boss brought in a friend of hers, and she wanted her to have that job, and so that's how it worked out.
Wow.
And they let me go. So, of course, that was a big-time advocacy for myself. I had to really fight as I continued to battle cancer, as my insurance was canceled, as I had to now
So you mean
pay
no
for
no insurance?
Well,
Fighting
the option of paying, $800 a month.
for
insurance.
Cobra, of course. That's just out of the question.
Well, I had to. I didn't have a choice. I had cancer, and I had to have insurance. So yeah, we had to pay $800. I say we, but you know who I mean. My sons were taking care of me at
Right.
that point, so we made it through. But I had to advocate for myself because now you have let me go, and I'm sick. So that was a really big hurdle for me to jump. The day after I was diagnosed, my regional director said, I called out and she said, "Oh, girl, put your big girl's panties on and come on in to work. I was diagnosed with cancer yesterday. You won't see me." So I had to advocate from that level on.
Right.
But advocating and making sure that I got the best of care.
That's what you're talking about, having that internal power within you and knowing who you are and whose you are. Knowing that job was not the provider, but our Heavenly Father is. And so he definitely came in and stepped in and helped to provide for you through the actions that was taken even by your sons to help you journey through. So that's tough. That's tough to have to fight that battle through. When you actually have gone through that, did you learn something about yourself that you didn't know before?
Well, as I went through that journey, and it was a journey, and I journaled while going through that, and just understanding how precious life is and what is really important.
Yes.
Things, I never believed that things were important, but I really realized things are important. People are important.
Yes.
And who's in your life and who's running your life. It's God. I mean, that journey helped me to get closer, strengthen, grow in my relationship with God.
Yes.
In my relationship with my sons, I already had a great relationship, but it grew even further, even deeper.
Yes.
Recognizing the love and the people all around me that love me made me understand what is important and what I need to live for.
And that's what you're talking about, that girl power, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. All my sisters all around me too.
Yes. It's nothing like that. So what does healing look like for you today beyond the physical?
Well, today, healing looks like I understand I am now semi-retired, so I still work a little bit.
Okay.
With helping nonprofits strengthen their programs and grants. Today, I realized that life is good. I was so blessed that I get a mammogram every year. I was able to detect the cancer. They were able to detect the cancer because I did mammograms every year.
Yes.
It is very important for us to focus on our health.
Yes.
I'm going to say, as women, I'm going to say even further, as Black women, we must focus on ourselves and take care of ourselves. So where I am today, I'm taking care of myself. I'm semi-retired. I'm enjoying life. I know traveling as much as I can, like to do a whole lot more, but also the time that we're living in doesn't allow us to do a lot of that either. But I'm just in a place with knowing that God has control. Just like he has brought me through so many things in my life. But I have to tell you, that journey was one of the biggest things in my life. And
Yes.
I'm pleased. When I ask why me, I know why me, because you learn so much about yourself, about life, and about what's important.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then you focus on those things, and you find a sense of peace and calm within, and joy. And that joy is internal, it's everlasting, and it's nothing that the world can say or do to destroy that.
No,
Yeah.
you do not allow anybody to steal your joy.
Absolutely.
And no matter what you're going through, know that I have the faith. You can have the faith to make it through. Because if you have faith and believe and put it in God's hands and accept the fact that however it turns out, it's going to be God's will.
That's right. Got to have the faith. And I'm telling you, I know that as you go through and continue in your healed space along your healing journey, we have here at the Heal Exchange just a little token of love and appreciation to state that we thank you for coming on and sharing your story, doing the exchange for those who are listening so that they may receive courage, they may receive healing, that they may receive edification, and they even may receive strategies that work for you that they can actually implement within their journey and get them to their healed space. So we want to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much. That is so special and so real. And I just wanted to say one other thing for any woman who's going through the journey with breast cancer, or anyone going through the journey of cancer. Just know that there are people you might not even know. You might not have that family support that I have, but know that there are people such as the person who's interviewing me right now, Coach C, who that's her work. So you have people. You have people who care. And so reach out.
Absolutely.
Reach out.
That's it. Reach out, you guys. Reach out. Oh, today we've been reminded that healing is not always what we expect, but sometimes it's like surrendering. Sometimes it looks like support, and sometimes it looks like love covering every step of the journey. Even when roles reverse, God remains the same.
All the time.
All the time. And you've been listening to the Heal Exchange with Coach C, and we're super excited, and we hope to see you next week, same time, same station. You're listening to the Heal Exchange with Coach C on WSIC News Radio.
Great radio doesn't end here. Catch the full episode and dive into our archives on the WSIC News app.
WSIC 105.9 FM, 100.7 FM, and 1400 AM. Statesville, Lake Norman's home for talk radio. WSIC, local starts here.